Welcome to another episode of Issues and Insights. I'm Bryce Shoemate from Hardin County Government, and you know, May is we celebrate several memorial services throughout this month where we recognize so many of our first responders, and not only our first responders, but the men and women in the military that have given their lives to protect our country and keep us free. So in today's show, we want to talk to some of the folks that are involved in some of our memorial services, EMS Week. This week is Corrections Week. So I got on our show today Mark Peterson from Hardin County EMS. Josh Lindblom is our Hardin County jailer. And Pastor Larry Vance from Vine Grove Baptist Church. But now Larry is in charge of a major reenactment that you have at the Veterans Park here in Elizabethtown every year, correct, Larry?
Absolutely. It's this is going to be our 6th annual World War II reenactment, Breakout and Pursuit, off Normandy Beach. It's an awesome battle, but now this year we have a big treat. You know, because COVID killed us for a couple of years,
right.
I had to come back and think, okay, what's going to be a great drawing card for us? Well, your viewers are looking right now at the last tiger, Bryce. We're bringing in the last tiger, actually the last tiger in the world that is going to be in E-Town. We have one other tiger.
Now let me stop you there.
Okay.
We're talking about tanks.
We're
not talking about
yes.
tiger.
Yeah.
We're talking about tanks here. Yeah. So German tanks. So.
Yes. The Marines talk about tanks. Civilians talk about tigers with 4 legs.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So.
Yes, it's the Tiger I. One of the most dreaded, most feared weapons that the Germans, Nazi Germany, had against Allied forces. And I mean, to think that a Tiger I is out there sent fear among anyone that had to face it. One of the things about the Tiger, and you're going to see a completely rebuilt Tiger. There is one in England in a museum brought out once a year for Tiger I Tank Day. It's brought out, it runs, and then it goes right back in the museum. This Tiger that we're going to be having in E-Town happens to be ready to fight. You will hear that big 88 millimeter go off from that turret. You're going to be able to witness it in a battle scenario.
Now, our house is at the other end of the lake.
Yes.
We're not going to have any rounds come flying over from the...
No.
Okay.
No, but you will hear it. You will hear it.
Yeah, just the packing.
Right. Yeah, because you know the judge is going to be saying, Bryce, what is that?
What is, yes. And I want everyone to know that what that is a celebration of keeping the true history of World War II alive. Now, there are many historians out there. Our problem is that too many have tried to dilute the truth, do that about war, no matter which war it was, but especially of World War II.
Right.
And our whole intent is to use these reenactors. I'll have between 125 and 150 reenactors on the battlefield with the armament and all, and each one of those individuals, they many don't know this, they pay for everything they do. They make sure that the equipment is period, and they all of their training and all, and it's some strict training. Now you talk about weapons control. They're watched time and time again. You couldn't put a live round in these weapons. Okay. So the breaches are set so that we can reenact everything except the reality of the rounds that are falling. And E10, I gotta have a stat You know, I was just looking at, Bryce, that I wanted to bring to your attention. From right now, we have, I'm trying to see how many of my, I had it before you start talking to me.
Well, I'm glad you were prepared.
I got it. Are you? If you're ready for this.
When he preaches, he's a lot better prepared than this.
That's right. Yeah, the Lord prepared me for that. I did this one.
Let me come back to you, Larry.
Come back to me on that. There it is. World War II veterans, 2,324 are in Kentucky, 4,583 in Tennessee. The amount that are killed on a daily basis, you come back to me on that.
Okay,
one,
all right. Josh, this week is Corrections Week, so tell us a little bit about what's going on, what Correction Week's all about.
Well, see, it's really wild being here right now. Stuff, you know, Chaplain Vance. He was a chaplain at the jail whenever I started many years ago.
And not only at the
jail,
but at the sheriff's office too. So he kept a lot of us straight.
Yeah. So it is National Corrections Week, Corrections Appreciation Week, and showing what these men and women go through every day. It's amazing. My staff is top notch. They make me look good every day. And I'll tell you this, they work hard. You know, through COVID, you know, we didn't shut down. There was no shutdown. There was, you know, it was just like EMS. EMS, everybody just started working harder. And I was so proud of them because they just did an amazing job. And I appreciate them every day, but I tell you this week especially, it's across the board. You know, the jailers, the deputy jailers, the corrections officers working in the prisons. You know, it's a hard job, but they really, you know, show their worth, that's for sure.
And sometimes get to see the worst of things.
You know, you get to see people at their worst, but then you also get to see people release at their best. And, you know, that's one thing. You know, every day is a different scenario. So every day you have something different, you know. You know, for example, we had a Korean War veteran, you know, who has dementia, who had an old outstanding warrant. And we was able to get him put in a nursing home instead of, you know, sitting in a jail. You know, You can actually help people every day. You know, my heroes are in the substance abuse programs, getting clean every day. You know, they just it's been a great time. I really enjoy what I do, and I love, you know, seeing these guys get some recommendation. You know, some you know,
recognition.
Yeah, recognition. Sorry. Yeah. But yeah, it's a good thing, you know. Of course, yeah, we work hand in hand with EMS every day. We work hand in hand with the police agencies everywhere. But you know, the corrections officers are the ones that are actually behind the scenes that, you know, nobody really realizes. You know, they don't think about them as much because they're behind the wall every day.
Right.
So, but it's,
and that's part of our first responders, just like 911. That's part of our first responders that don't get as much recognition as they should.
Well, yeah, definitely. You know, from the 911 dispatchers who, you know, really, I mean, it's been proven they have just as much trauma on the scene as somebody right there on the scene, you know, because they are on the scene. They're there. I mean, it's, you know, they might be the last person somebody talks to, or the only person that can help them at the time. You know, EMS show up on the scene. Of course, you know, my years of the fire service, we worked hand in hand together. And as a matter of fact, I remember I was even at a wreck scene with you before, you know, or you know, you was involved. So, you know, it was. Yeah, I mean, we all work together and all support each other very, very well.
Well, Josh, today's your birthday, so we want to tell you happy birthday.
Well, I appreciate that. You know.
I was 21 years old when you were born. So anyhow, Josh, do you have anything special going on at the jail, or things going on at your corrections facility this week?
What we do is, like, of course, you know, today everybody's getting, of course, the pizza and the desserts and everything and stuff. But you know, we actually have a cookout coming up for all the Joes at work and stuff. So we do stuff like that, and of course, throughout the year we do different things. But you know, it's just trying to get everything together and stuff. Because you know, it's a hectic schedule. But yeah, I mean, you know, pizza and cookies and drinks, stuff like that. You know, But you know, just to walk up to somebody and say, "Hey, you're doing an excellent job," and shake their hand, and so that means a whole lot. You know, means a whole lot.
And folks, I got to tell you all don't realize how much money that Josh and all of the folks that work at Hardin County Detention Center save our county every day just by workers going out and anything from picking up trash to mowing graveyards to actually out working with several of our cities doing different functions. Josh?
Anytime there's a storm, anytime there's something, crews are sent out. And it's amazing because even the work crews got a plaque from Kentucky 86 Fire Department that says Citizens of the Year. So an inmate getting a plaque for Citizens of the Year for the work they've done in the community, whether it be storm cleanup, whether it be taking care of cemeteries that have been lost in time,
Right.
Picking up trash, just all sorts of work. There's not a community around here. There's not a municipality in Hardin County that doesn't have at least some of our projects done every year. So that's a big push, and it's really heartwarming whenever you see the inmates show so much community support, and they're all about it. They do an excellent job.
And they enjoy being out, too.
Oh, they love it. They love it. It makes them get some self-worth, and they're really enjoying it stuff, and I'm really proud of them.
And I love seeing Jackie Hall out, because Jackie and I worked at the sheriff's office together for many years, and I love seeing Jackie out, because Jackie, for you all that don't know, Jackie Hall was actually an Elizabethtown police officer until he retired, and Mary, his wife, was a Hardin County deputy sheriff until she retired. So
she was my captain when I started.
Great servants of the community.
So Jackie's never stopped serving.
No.
So Jackie went on to be with the Marshal Service. He went on with the Sheriff's Office. He went on with the Commonwealth Attorney's Office, detective. He's been the jailer since. So Jackie's probably the longest serving police officer in the state.
I would,
peace officer.
no doubt. Yeah. So thank you for all that you all do, and want to celebrate. And you all, if you see any of our corrections officers out while they're out walking around, walk up and shake their hand and tell them thank you for their service, because that is a thankless job many times. Mark, we're coming up next week, EMS Appreciation Week, or is it the week after?
The week after, week of the 15th.
Tell us a little bit about what's going on there.
May 15th through the 21st is EMS Week. It's a national time for everybody to recognize emergency medical services. Every year we have a theme. This year is Rising to the Challenge, which I think is very fitting coming off of COVID and everything that we've had to deal with, everybody's had to deal with over the last couple of years. It's twofold for me. One of it is to show appreciation of these guys and gals that are out every day in the trenches, taking care of our community. But another side of that to me is education. We are going to be in some school every day during EMS week, doing PR events, talking about what we do, making kids feel comfortable around EMS and ambulances and stuff like that. So it's an opportunity for us to shine a light on what we do every day to everybody else as well.
And that's great, because Chaplain Vance will tell you that, I've been in things where people been scared to death, what I was going to do. So, but not only that, but you have several agencies all through EMS week that bring you all food, bring you treats. I gained about 40 pounds. They bring cop food, donuts, it's neat to see how much support is out in our community.
And I know that we're appreciated every day, but this is just a good time for people to reach out to us and thank them on their own.
It's also one of those jobs where you don't get appreciated until they need you, and that's true. But you guys don't look at it like that way. A lot of folks do and stuff, but after that they're like, okay, well these guys were there for us and stuff, And I appreciate y'all because lately you see there's a lot more drug overdoses and different stuff, and those folks by the time y'all save them and we help them and get it all to the system and stuff, they become productive again. It's amazing the turnaround, and that's.
And with that, I mean that they touch some aspect of first responders through the whole system, from the 911 dispatcher to the police department, fire department, EMS, the corrections. They meet all of us during the process of getting better and getting out there and being productive. So.
And Mark, also want to talk about great partners with our folks at Kentucky 6.
Yes, Kentucky 6 is Air Methods. helicopter ambulance service. They're based here in Elizabethtown at the airport. We work very, very close with them. We do a lot of trainings with them. They'll come out and see us the week of the 15th as well. They'll probably do a cookout or something for us. But they're kind of the guys that you don't want to see, because if we're calling them, it's pretty bad. But what they do and how they do it is amazing. They've been a great partner. They're a resource that is very valuable to us. And they can travel a whole lot faster than we can, and they have resources on their helicopters that we don't have in the ambulance.
Just about the time that we close the back door,
Yep.
they can be to Louisville.
Yep, that's correct. They travel.
As long as I'm not
right,
driving.
as long as Bryce is not driving. Yes.
Yeah, I almost took off with the doors open one day. So
Yes, sir.
And of course, I've seen their whole crew at 911 the other day dropping off trees
Yep.
for dispatcher,
Yep.
for Telecommunicators
Yep.
Week. So everybody works all hand in hand together.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a great,
And we don't want to leave Baptist Health Hardin out, because they through EMS Week, especially emergency room folks, bring you
they
all.
take care of us as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm thinking of starting a diet this weekend, but I think I may have to start towards the end of the month, because all the free goodies that come our way. But yeah. So
And we want to thank you all
Thank
for all
you.
that you all do. We appreciate everything you do on a daily basis. I mean, I go over and folks are constantly working, and what you all see on the scene is just part of what EMS has to do. They have to actually come back, re-equip their ambulance after they've been to your house. They have a report system that they have to fill out that's extremely explicit on what happened, because all that has to be submitted for insurance purposes and billing purposes, and it has to be very detailed. So what they perform on the scene, much like a police officer, is just part of what's done, because nowadays Padre documentation is everything.
Very important,
Yes.
my friend.
And to have an ambulance sanitized, ready to go for the next person, because you have to have an ambulance sanitized just like you would an operating room.
Well, yeah, and Josh, just y'all, everybody here has talked about COVID, and that was one of the things that was so hard on EMS, is not only were we having to sanitize, but so many of our folks were getting exposed and got COVID, as well. And then you have to worry about, what are you taking home to your family when you leave and go home, after your 24-hour shift. You got a very great possibility of taking something home to your children.
And of course, with emergency management, we all worked together, worked it out. Or different hotels were able to, quarantine people there if we needed
Right.
stuff for different staff and everything else. And,
Right.
knock on wood, we did pretty good.
We
too.
did
I mean,
well.
it's-
We did
it's-
well.
A lot of people don't realize that emergency management actually provided all the masks for all of the doctors' offices and clinics, and even it was Hardin Memorial then. We were able to go out and find masks for Hardin Memorial until they could actually find masks on their own. So Social Security office, I don't want to leave them out, because they actually gave us 1,000 N95 masks that they had at their place. So that we could take to Hardin Memorial during that crunch time when COVID first hit us. So, Mark, thank you for all that you all do, and we thank our partners for all that they do to help us and so on. It makes it nice. And I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about, and all of us will probably be at this ceremony, May 13th is Police Officer Memorial Week, and Radcliffe FOP Lodge every year has a large service out in front of Radcliffe Police Department. This year is no different. They are having that service on May the 13th. Public is invited. If it becomes rainy that day, they'll hold that ceremony at Colvin Community Center. Folks, I encourage you all, if you haven't been to this, you need to go, especially all that our law enforcement, just like these folks that are here with me, all that our law enforcement officers are going through these days. It makes it rough, and then sometimes you get extremely jaded and calloused as to what we see, because many times we're seeing the worst of society, and so it makes it hard on them. So again, May 13th at noon in front of Radcliffe Police Department. Radcliffe FOP will be putting on a ceremony that is that they have every year. please come out and join them. Our person that was supposed to be here today, Lieutenant Holman, called me sick. He's running a fever, so
keep him at home.
So we left him at home. We didn't want him to come out here. Not that you all would get it, but we might get it. So we wanted to make sure that we recognized Lieutenant Holman. Hope he gets to feeling better by the time this show airs. I'm sure he will be fine and back out on the street. So,
and Bryce, if you don't mind, of course, this week was also, they had International Firefighters Day as well.
Yes.
So that all works hand in hand. Of course, we have a volunteer firefighters and career firemen here in Hardin County and stuff, and they do an excellent job as well. So everything is like one big piece of the puzzle. And then, of course, I believe it's also Teachers Week, ain't it?
I believe so.
Yes.
I believe
Yeah.
so.
So we've got several things in the month of May that
we
goes on.
couldn't have done what we did without the teachers teaching us to do stuff.
Right.
That's.
And then, of course, Memorial Day weekend, Chaplain Vance, you've got the reenactment going on, and I want to go back to you and talk about some of these things that you've got going on. Give us a date and times and so on.
Okay, I have a whole schedule that is on etownwwii.com, etownworldwar2.com, and you will see the schedule for the day of May the 28th.
And folks, we'll put that that site down at the bottom of the screen so that you all can look that up.
And one thing that what Josh and you all are talking about, I think it's very important, and this is where so much misunderstanding comes from. You need folks who are involved telling the story of what truly goes on, because the average person out here does not know the story behind the scenes, as you all have been talking about. But they can't know it unless somebody goes out and tells the story of every aspect of our country, of the different wars. I'm a Vietnam veteran. Yet I came
home.
Well, thank you, brother. And if you'll remember correctly, Josh, when we came home, I was not allowed to wear anything that said U.S. Marine. I was not allowed to wear my uniform home because of the sentiment across our land of what was going on. So it does sound good when you say welcome home, brother. But I came closer to getting killed in the Dominican Republic than I did in Vietnam. We were there in '65, April, I believe it was, of '65. But you have all of these different battles. You have all of the, and I'm talking about battles that you fight on a daily basis in corrections or into the medical end of it. And people just need to hear it. You have to put it down. 16 million Americans served in World War II. Today, got my stat, Bryce.
Okay.
240,239 as of January this year are listed as still living. We're losing 234 die on a daily basis. Wow. That's why when I focus on the World War II reenactment, people say, well, why don't you get into the two different wars? There's time for that. Yeah. But right now, we need to honor those of the greatest generation, those individuals that gosh, they didn't have sat phones where they could call home. They weren't keeping in touch with their family. My father-in-law, Russell Pretty, Russell served in World War II, and I'll never forget my mother-in-law telling the story of he went off to war, and he came back when it was over. I mean, that's what you did. So what? Again, get with the history, understand it. World War II reenactment, May the 28th. I'm going to have all the historical tents. You will be able to go into the tents of the Allied forces and the German units. They will have the weapons of the era. They will explain those weapons to you, and you're going to see some tanks and one big one.
Brother Larry, as far as parking,
Yes.
Does it become a problem as far as parking?
Actually,
or-
it does not, because folks move in and out. Our first battle is at 10 a.m. Second battle is at 3. Now, I have something going on all in between there. We kick off at 9 a.m. I'll have North Hardin Junior ROTC there to present colors. We'll have the national anthem and, of course, prayer. I don't dare bring all of this together without a whole lot of prayer going on, brother. And and then from that day, I'll have something going on under the pavilion or out in the tinning area and all. And we will have also a ceremony at 12 o'clock. Whether you'll know this or not, there's a whole lot going on. 6 full pages of it going on for that day. So, but in the 12 noon, American Legion Post 113 will be remembering the fallen at the memorial ceremony at the wall.
Okay.
So that's at 12 noon. There's so much going on. And let me say one other thing. What is going on is always added to, because on either Friday during the time of setup, I will have different individuals. And I mean, I've had some folks that are awesome human beings, heroes there that may say, can I come? Can I be a part? Can I? And of course, I'd let them know, I'll give you a hamburger. Come on.
I got goosebumps.
There you go.
Speaking of which, will there be refreshments?
There will
out
be
there?
refreshments. There will be 2 food services. We have, and strangely enough, I've never eaten at Juanita's Street Tacos, and everybody tells me how great they are. She's bringing a trader. Little Joe's Kitchen will be there, and of course, being Hardin, sending out his Kona Ice.
Okay.
So yes, and I'm taking care of the Kentucky in me. I take care of it, Bryce. Of our reenactors, feed them breakfast, to feed them their lunch, and listen, these folks give of their time, and I think it's important that we give back to them.
Absolutely.
It's going to be an awesome day.
And it's an amazing opportunity to sit and talk to a veteran, too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, yes.
Living, breathing history.
Yes.
Again, that website where you've got information?
Is E-Town, ETOWN, ETownWorldWar2.com.
Awesome. Awesome.
And
folks,
all of
again,
it's on that page. You've got videos of the past tank battles and
I'm
all.
sure a copy of that 6-page flyer
Yes,
that you got
it will
there.
be handed out there at the park that day, so everybody can carry it with. World of statistics in here, and about Vietnam, about World War II, and it's fact. Bryce.
Guys, I knew our time would go by fast. I've got the 1-minute warning.
Well, thank you.
Larry,
Thank
thank
you.
you for your
Thank you.
service.
Yes.
Thank you for all you do, and thank you for putting this all together the last several years. Josh Lindblom, thank you for what you do to
Thank
take
you.
care of our county.
Appreciate y'all.
Mark Peterson, again, thank you, and all of your staff and all of your staff for all that they do. And we thank our police officers as well, and our firemen, this being International Firefighters Week, and all of our teachers out there, because Hardin County Education Community TV exists through the Hardin County school system. So we ask that you stay tuned as we bring you information about this county that we love so much, and your Hardin County school system, where we keep you informed on what your students are doing all throughout the year. Thanks for joining us for this great show today. I'm Bryce Shoemate from Hardin County Government. Be safe. Summertime's coming. Enjoy it.